This is crazy. Hey, I don't know what happened with the other thing. I was trying to do go live on Streamlabs because Batissimo keeps saying that my account is out of compliance because there's no overlay or something. So yeah, it kept saying I was live, but then I wasn't live. Like nothing was happening. The screen kept saying waiting for Savage, so I just made a new one. I don't know what was going on with that. I don't use Streamlabs enough to be able to figure it out on the spur of a moment, but I know how to use StreamYard. So I didn't really want to talk about anything today in particular. I was just yeah, I can't either. I mean, I had it working for a little while when I first found Bautissimo, but I guess I don't know. I don't know what happened. But yeah, I just wanted to hang out for a little while. I haven't been on here in so long, but I've had so many good things happening that I'm excited. But I'm probably gonna come back regularly after Letitia's trial because it seems like my schedule is just not. I mean, like when I listened to that all day, I was planning to come back regularly, like over the last couple of weeks. But since we've been watching her trial and listening to that all day, like I had to actually stop watching today and I got to finish it later because it really gave me a headache behind my right eye. It feels like somebody's stabbing me in my right eye. So I don't think I'm mentally capable of listening to her trial and her evil all day and then coming on here and going live. That's just too much for one brain to handle because she makes my brain bleed. But yeah, some good things are happening and I'm so excited and I'm working more. So I have a little more freedom. I ended up moving back home to Lake Charles. So there's that. I miss the grandbabies though. Bubby has glasses now. I'm waiting to get a picture of her. When I get a picture of her, I'm gonna put it up so everybody can see Bubby in her glasses. She loves them. Um, I got a puppy now. It's not my puppy, but he hangs out in my room all the time. His name is Stripe. I'll post a picture of the pup too. Yeah, Letitia is exhausting. It's beyond exhausting. And to hear, like, okay, so we all knew to expect some bombshells and some unbelievable stuff in this trial, but I can't wrap my mind around the lies that she told and really I think she really expected people to believe her between Eduardo and whatever his name is Brown and the pregnant lady that was pregnant with a bunch of money and the bike that they found on Craigslist and just all the things, man. It's like wow. And she was seriously expecting Al to believe this. And I think the one key thing in the trial so far that really, really just messed me up was the call where she kept talking about immunity. He'd say something and she's like, immunity. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I just, that day right there just blew my mind. Here you are knowing that you have murdered this poor baby in such a horrible overkill way. And you have the nerve to try to get this child's father to help you get immunity. Yeah, I moved from the grandbabies. I miss them so bad. But I had to come back down here because, like, what I do, I'm an information technology technician, but I really haven't been in the field. In God, I was doing like restaurant, hospitality, and retail management for most of my adult life. So my knowledge, as far as new things that have come out, is really off by about 12 years. So I'm actually getting retrained and getting trained on some hands-on things that I never actually did. I learned about in theory from textbooks, like running cables and figuring out how much conduit you need and how to run stuff from the junction box and all this other kind of stuff. So I'm really retraining. so that I can work independently more often. And that'll be a good thing because then I'll be able to make plenty of money because it doesn't seem like I'm ever going to get my disability. And this is something that I can do even with the disabilities that I have because I can make my own schedule. I can basically set my own paycheck once I'm well trained again. So yeah, had to do something. I can't keep sitting around broke and sitting in the house because I go stir crazy. I'm not a people person. I don't really like to hang out with people, but I like to have contact with people for a little while as long as I can like leave them over there and go back home and be in my own little personal bubble. Yeah, I'm that kind of person. So yeah, um I am enjoying the move. It's been good so far. Um Then there were some other things that happened that I'm not gonna go into. Sleep Mom, I'll probably tell you about it next time we chat, but I'm not really gonna go into that stuff. But it was kind of a crazy situation. And me, I don't like crazy, so I get out of Dodge when crazy comes around the corner. Yeah. I'm dating again. I swear to God I was not gonna date again, but then again I don't want to be alone for the rest of my life, so I'm dating again. Yes, I miss Bubby. Oh, she called me the other morning and I was like half asleep and I had to get up for work and she cried when I had to get off the phone. She kept saying, I want Gigi. So I'm gonna go see them probably the next time I get paid. It's really not that far away. It's only like an hour to an hour and a half depending on traffic. So I'm probably just gonna go up there and hang out with them like for maybe a weekend. Cause I do miss her. That's my little buddy. I miss all the things Bubby. Especially how she just bullied me in my own room. She just moved in. Yes, I have a boyfriend. Hey, B Tim. He's awesome too. We stay on the phone like for hours and hours at a time. I feel like a teenager again. I'm all crushed out. So yeah, that's what I've been up to, and not really a whole lot else. I've been lurking. I don't always talk in the chat with like when I'm watching on your channel watching the trial, but usually I'm there lurking all day because like I have it in my ear when I'm at work, and then sometimes when I'm sitting at home, I got it playing because I don't really look at TV screens. I really listen to like TV and videos and stuff more than I actually watch them. Yeah, I'm a lurker. I'm a big time lurker because when I start talking in chat and I don't know how to shut up, I just keep typing. Like I want to respond to everybody. I know. God, her voice is jeez. Makes my ears bleed. Her voice makes my ears bleed and her lies make my brain bleed. Hey PJ. Yeah, I can't with her. Man, I kind of wish they had shot her when she tried to escape. Save us all the trouble. I'm probably not supposed to say that on YouTube, but I said it. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, it's been crazy. I'm trying to get caught up on the Lori Vallow Daybell trial, but I'm probably gonna wait until after this trial is over because that's a whole nother boatload of crazy over there. Man, if I don't see how Al did it, Al is a saint. We need to start a GoFundMe for his sanity because I don't think I could have survived 5 years and more than that because what they were married for like 5 years, right? And then they were together for what a year or two before that. I do not think I could have taken 5 to 7 years of her. We're talking about Al being married to Tisha for 5 years. And how could he possibly deal with that? It's crazy. So, guys, I am going to. Y'all might not remember, but a couple of months ago there was a whole thing with the Eckert Foundation the Eckerd Youth Foundation and foster care down in Florida, and they had like kids sleeping in the foster care office on the floor and in chairs and stuff, and just like a whole bunch of craziness going on in their foster care program. Well, um, you might not also remember that I was saying I had my own personal experience with the Eckerd family. Back then, it was Eckerd Family Youth Foundation, and they had Eckerd Family Youth Camps, which was basically you live out in the woods for up to 2 years. You had to chop wood and deal with snakes and just all kind of craziness. Well, I had reached out on Twitter to try to get some people who had experiences with these different camps to come on and talk about their experiences with the Eckerd Foundation. And I had a few people that kind of hit me up, but then they backed out. But I have someone who I know personally, and we both had experience at the same Eckerd Family Youth Camp. It was called Camp Imashami. I'm going to type that in because nobody's ever going to figure out what it says. Imashami. And it was in Santa Rosa County in Florida. Well, he and I both had personal experience. We ended up getting sent to this camp for different reasons. But yeah, it was a mess. And he's willing to come on and talk about that because me personally, I'm not too fond of the Eckerd Foundation and the things that they're doing with kids. I feel like that they've been exploiting children in the system for decades just to turn a buck. And I've always felt like that. Like the camps that they had us in, they need to shut down every single one of them if they haven't already, because that is not what you do with a kid that you expect has some type of problem, whether it's a behavioral issue or a mental issue or they won't go to school or something. That is not the type of environment that you put kids in and expect them to somehow learn something that's going to help them to grow and prosper and thrive. It's more like torture and hard punishment. So I got somebody that's going to come on in the next week or so, and we're going to work out the logistics on that and talk about his experience, because his experience wasn't much better than mine. And then there's so much stuff going on in the Eckerd Foundation's different programs. Like, I know, but they had a bunch of camps like this. They had like Imashami was the one I was at. They had an all girls camp called Nini Hasi. They had a boys camp called Kelatu, where a bunch of stuff happened in these different camps, and they were nationwide. They had camps in almost every state. Um, and in these different camps, you had stuff going on like counselors having sexual relationships with the kids that were there, and you could be as young as like 9 years old and be in that program. It was such a crazy and wild experience. Like it was crazy. So he's gonna come on here and talk about his experience, and I'm gonna tell you guys about my experience. And so we can just bring some awareness to the kind of foolishness that's going on with the Eckerd Foundation's various youth related programs that they have been running for all these decades. Yeah, it's not okay. It's not okay. As a matter of fact, I think the Kelatu camp got shut down because there was such a public scandal involving a camper and a counselor at that camp. I can't quite remember all the details off the top of my head. And as a matter of fact, that camper's sister is one of the people who reached out to me on Twitter when I was asking if anybody had an experience they wanted to share about it. And she was telling me a little bit about it, but then her brother decided he didn't want to, come out. And I don't blame him, because under the circumstances, I can understand him wanting to keep his privacy and his anonymity and to just not even talk about it ever again, to forget that Camp Kelatu or whatever even existed. It was a horrible experience. They really aren't. They really are not safe anywhere. And it makes no sense. I mean, our kids now, if they have the least little issue, then it's like everybody in the system sees dollar signs. Well, if we adopt them out over here, we'll get a kickback. If I adopt these kids, I'll get some money every month. If I put them in this program, I'll get paid as a judge. It's like shuffling these kids around for no other reason than somebody's financial gain. When it would probably, like in my own situation, it would have been much better had they left me at home, because the things that were going on with me weren't going on at home. It was going on in other places, but nobody took the time to figure out what was going on. They just decided that, hey, she doesn't want to go to school. She's a bad kid. Throw her out there in the middle of the woods. I mean, literally, I was at 13, I was the only female camper that was a virgin in that whole compound. I learned about things in that camp that I had never been exposed to. I didn't know anything about drugs, sex, any of that stuff at that age. And they threw me out there with like 16 girls who were partying. They're in there because they're partying, running away, having sex, having babies, using drugs, drinking, stealing cars, all kinds of stuff that I just didn't want to go to school because I had some stuff going on that I probably could have just gotten counseling for and been okay, because I was a straight A student. So yeah, I mean, that place was a nightmare. It really was. Well, I'm so glad I got a chance to hang out with you guys. I have really missed this so much, and I'll be glad when they go ahead and send Letitia where she deserves to be. Throw that heifer under the building, and then I can come back on a regular basis because my brain won't be bleeding daily. And I'm going to get some pics of the girls and share them, especially Bubby with her cute new glasses. I cannot wait to see her glasses. I bet she is the cutest little thing. She used to always take my glasses and try to wear them. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be here soon. I'm going to wait till T's trial is up and then I'll be back. Oh, God, that lady, I'm not home to watch. Oh, I'm lucky you're not there to see it or hear it. It's more than enough, man. If I weren't so invested by now, I mean, we're at the end of week 3. I would probably just catch recaps. If I had knew her voice was going to play this much, I would have just been looking for recaps of the trial because, ooh, wee. And she's so stupid. Like, how do you have all these letters and degrees and you're just dumb as a brick? She can't even speak proper English. I mean, I know we all speak some old jacked up English sometimes on a regular basis, but that's just her normal thing. Like, I don't think she actually even knows how to properly construct a sentence. I mean, she said, "So the lady don't be mad at us and throw and kick us out the house." What? Yeah, I'm going too far. I gotta stick it out. I gotta stick it out for Gannon. And that this case really kind of touches me close because as the crow flies, Gannon was found maybe between 7 and 10 miles from where I lived at the time. That bridge I used to go across all the time because I drove Uber and Lyft, and I would go across that bridge all the time. So yeah, and I'm actually glad that she picked that particular spot to throw him over because it made it so easy for him to be found. Because the way that bridge is set up, it's two parallel spans of bridge, and you have an area where there's like bridge, then road, then bridge. Well, the main part of the bridge actually goes across the Escambia River, which is a pretty decent sized river. Now, if she had thrown him over there, he probably would have been out in Pensacola Bay somewhere. But because she threw him where she threw him, thinking that he was going to land in the water, which really that was just like a marshy area, that's why he was able to be found, because there was no water there to take him off anywhere. And I'm so glad that she was too dumb to take a second and look over the bridge and see what was going on down there. I'm glad that she did a lot of things. I'm glad she kept telling all those lies and making herself. She made herself the prime suspect before anybody. They probably wouldn't have even looked at her at first if she hadn't started switching up her story and telling all those lies. Yeah, she missed the water. If she had gone less than a mile further, she would have had all the water she needed to dispose of a body and reasonably expected never to get found. I'm so glad she's done. So glad she's dumb. But yeah, that wasn't very far from where I lived at the time. And I mean, it really took me by surprise when I found out that the body they found was him. I was because I had been following the case, and I remember they were talking about they saw him at the store on video camera and all that stuff, and da da da. Then the next thing I know, boom, he's actually way over here by your house, by my house. I've been looking for pregnant women all day to check to see if they have real babies or money babies. Look, so help me God, I moved into this apartment one time, and whoever lived there before had left some of their personal information, and they had a kid who was named Different Money Sneed. Literally. I think that kid's mom was one of those people that gets pregnant with money, and I really want to find her. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna lay down because my head is still actually hurting. I'll be glad when they're past the part of playing her phone calls and stuff. And she is so disrespectful. I mean, having her head down on the table, flipping people birds, putting her fingers in her ears. Just man, when I looked up there and saw her head on the desk today, I wish I had been the judge because I would have told the heifer, if you don't sit up, I'm gonna tape you to the chair sitting up and tape your eyes open too. She's stopping up her ears. What? You can't deal with hearing what you did? This vile act that you committed? You were big and bad enough to do it. Sit down and take your medicine. PJ, she said today that she picked up a 8-month pregnant woman. Yeah, that wasn't really pregnant. It was cash stashed under her shirt. That man, y'all pardon me for using the council word, but Letitia Stalk is retarded. She gotta be. She gotta be. Normally functioning brains do not come up with the foolishness that she came up with, and she was sounding so serious about it, like saying, I don't. I'm gonna go lay down because now I'm getting a worse headache thinking about it. So, guys, I'll see y'all after the trial, and that'll be about it. Good night. Thanks for coming to hang out, PJ, Sleuth, D10, and there was another lurker there somewhere. There were two more lurkers there somewhere. Whoever you are, thank you for coming to hang out for a little while too. See y'all next time. Good night.